Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your time. So let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Maria Miglain, and I've been working with Zulu for over 5 years now. And previously, doing slots and network for different airlines. So today we're going to talk about slots and how to save the slots. And in the moments of when we get a free time, sometimes I use ChatGPT just to ask some funny questions. And recently I asked one, what is easier to reschedule the flight to match the slot or to go and obtain the slot to match your flight? And this is the question which you probably ask every day, and it is like on the scale for you, what is easier to do when you're doing your schedule? And basically, it's saying quite good things that on one side of the scale, when you're trying to retime your flight, it's the schedule flexibility, it's your KPIs, the targets you're trying to meet, and many other things. And then on the slot side, it comes your historics, the other constraints you're getting, and like the 80-20 rule for some airports, you cannot go over a certain time, etc., etc. So there are many components. Either way, whatever side of the scale you go, we have a solution for that. So let me take you through our company really briefly and what we're doing and what modules we have before we jump into the slot stuff. So we are fully integrated in the modern platform. We do have scheduling and slots, obviously, which is quite innovative and easy to use. We do have global SIM, which is our new thing, where we get the data for all airlines, and you can access the competition data in your system. We do have codeshare model, where you can export the SIM files with the codeshares and update your partners accordingly. Optimization and the network. We will talk about optimization briefly. So these are our partners or customers. So we are working with, so we can see quite a broad network around the globe. Talking about Zulu advantages, and we will stop here a little bit. So we are the modern technology, so we are a web-based application which you can access from everywhere. So it's just the URL and what you need at a decent internet speed and can be available from everywhere. We are host everything in the cloud. It's scalable architecture and code and clean user-friendly interface. And it's really user-friendly. We will see it in a bit. We also have market-leading capabilities. The booking analysis, which we introduced during the COVID time, where you can rotate the schedule based on your bookings and then find the flights which you want to operate and you want to drop, aligning with the profitability and the other things. SCED and audit, and we continuously expand that part because there are new constraints appearing to your schedules. So we do departure separation, arrival separation, MGT constraints, curfews, fire breaks, just to make sure that you kind of keep the resilience of your schedule, and many, many other things. Like you name it, we probably have it. Global SIM, as I mentioned, you can compare what your competitors are doing over the time, so and see how they're changing their capacity in the market. You can select particular routes you are interested in to see the variations in the seats, and you can see what frequencies get cancelled, etc., etc. Reports BI, that's another part. So you can build the graphs and the diagrams in the system itself without exporting the data somewhere, and kind of in one click attach it with any of the schedule within your system and then get the reports ready. Alternatively, we do have an API integration where we can send the data to your Power BI storage, where you can do whatever you want with it to produce the reports you used to and you like watching. Rotation optimizer, we'll have a slide on that. We have about 5 or 6 different types of rotation optimizers you can do within the system. Gate management, another feature when airports are struggling to kind of tell you on time where your gates are and you want to do pre-planning before you make a schedule change, you can use our gate management module where you can assign the gates how you want to see them or kind of optimize them and do that part. We also do a bit of machine learning, and we are developing in that direction. So we're trying to teach the system to predict what you want to do and then kind of be more user-friendly and, be more user-friendly and easier to use. And the really nice thing we started to show to our customers recently, it's a crew analysis. So you can build in the crew duty plan, like the crew duty limitations, which are everywhere, like widely available. And then as you work in the schedule, you can select number of flights and see if you're going over your crew duty time or you are within. So if you're doing like sometimes, we've seen it recently in one of the regions where the gaps are very wide. It's not like 15 minutes gap between crew duties. It can be just 5 minutes when you just retime the flight and the crew cannot operate it anymore. So when it is very visual on the screen, you can pick it up and see. In terms of customer success, many knows us for being very customer friendly and working with our customers closely. So we provide fast implementation, and I think our record was a couple of days to set up the new customer to start using the system just because of the web-based technology. It's a very easy integration, so we talk with pretty much all the systems downline, whether it's Ops system or it's a PSS. We do the hands-on training remotely or on-site, providing our customers with all the necessary parts. And within the system, we have a knowledge base where you can go and kind of find an answers to all your questions. So it starts with how do I retime a flight? And then the knowledge base will give you an answer to that. 24/7 support and essential station and time zones. So we maintain that for our customers and we monitor any changes. And sometimes we do the changes faster than the others so that it creates little awareness for the other systems. Continuous improvement. We listen to our customers. So whatever you say to us does matter, and we try to incorporate it in the system, and we learn from you. And we learn from the different models, like how different airlines are working, what different airports are requiring, what coordinators want in terms of slot management, and we incorporate it in the system. Since we are web-based, we can roll our improvements quite often, so we do like 4 to 8 week cycle where we can load our updates in the system. Seamless upgrades, so there is no downline time, so we do it overnight, in the weekend. You just don't wait. You sometimes don't even notice that it happened. We just send you an email saying that you need to press on the refresh button. Right. Now we come into the slot management. One of the things which is different from the other slot management systems is that we provide the optimized or customized slot matching algorithms, which can be different from your coordination mode when you are in touch with the slot coordinators, as well as when you do your initial submission. So what you can see on the screen over here, I mean, it's very little levers, but you can do we call it total match, where everything on the flight is the same. You can set the gaps or ranges for the flight number match. You can do the same for the time matching. You can do overnight matching and the midnight, the opposite direction, where in some airports, arrival slots can be matched with the departure flights, etc. And all of that can be automated and applied to the different airports. So you customize it the way you want it to work. And then when you kind of start working with your slot set, you choose the matching you want, and the job is done for you. You can also do we call it semi-automated matching. So once the initial matching or kind of default matching is done, you go to the next step where you can control what you want to kind of optimize. So in that case, you can choose pretty much same options and run it within a different time range, increase your hours. So for example, search for the flight hours like within 6 hours, etc. And of course, if you are not happy, we allow you to unmatch it and match it manually. So there is also opportunity for the manual matching in case you want to do something differently. Peak period warnings, that's another great stuff. So you can provide the graph of the flights where you have the peak hours from the morning or afternoon or, I mean, whatever it is, based on the different airports, and then choose the option what you want system to do. Not match it outside of this hour, so in case you kind of move the flight out, don't move into that hour. So if your flight is, for example, at 8 o'clock and it's the peak time, you know that you probably won't get it. Or I think London City is a good example where when you go into certain hours, you pay more. So in that case, you can kind of manage your cost as well by not going into the certain hours where there are higher rates. And one thing which is not mentioned here is the domestic international matching. So you can also restrict your domestic slots being matched with international flights, as well as international slots being matched with domestic flights, just to, in case there are different terminals, it is valid in some of the regions. Zulu also provides quite a nice dashboard. So one of the dashboards is on the top. It's what you get when you open the system, and you can see by the season whether it is summer or, it doesn't point on the screen. So you can choose the season which you are managing, and then you will see all your airports. And it's a very nice way to see how many pending change requests you need to send, what are the deleted slots if there are any, what are the unmatched flights. So for example, you introduce a new, or one of your colleagues introduced a new flight in the schedule, and then once you run the status refresh, you might see unmatched flights, meaning that you need to go in the slot set and actually request the new flights, new slots. User-friendly, easy-to-use interface. We use color scheme to alert you that your slots are good. So if you see green, you're good. You don't need to do anything. If you see yellow or any other colors, it means that there are some pending changes. So you need to send a time change or equipment change, etc. And we also can do the red coloring if your slots needs to be deleted, so that you know that they are not utilized with any of the flights, and you can make a decision whether you want to give them away or keep in your slot set. With this, we come to the slot monitoring, and this would be the view for our slot monitoring, and you can filter by the airport and the season again. And what is really nice, you can simulate it with the different scenarios. So I didn't mention that in Zulu, we have master slot sets which are linked with your main working schedule. But we also have some slot sets where you might want to try something. So there is like a hub restructure happening, or there is a new opportunity for utilization improvements and many other things, and then you can just create a scenario and see what there will be an impact on the slots. Or if you take the demand-driven analysis, so you run through the model and you see your bookings, you may kind of decide to cancel certain flights, and you definitely want to know what will be the impact on the slots. So it can be linked with the different schedules or different scenarios. You can go in and check what the output will be. So calendar gives you the nice overview with the green and red dates, so alerting what flights are cancelled. And the dashboard is done by the day of the week, and you can see it in the freeways. So available to cancel, percentage usage, and cancel total. So basically, whatever you wish. Latest thing, given the COVID changes and how the percentages were changing, you can now modify the percentage, so it's not 80-20 constraint. So you can put 64, what it was, 36, 75, 25. So, and it's all airport based, so you can do that as well. And we do alert you with the color scheme, how close you're getting to losing your slots. So if you cancel too much, or if you're fine, and like you can see on available to cancel, how many more flights you can cancel. And ops operations, ops cancellations can be imported into the system from your ops team so that you can always stay up to date. You can also see slots in the flights. So we have a flight view. It's like your listing of the flights which you use on a daily basis to make a schedule changes. And then you can select the mode to show the slot information over there. And then again, color scheme is used to show where you're good, where you're bad, what slots are missing. If retimings go over 30 minutes, we color it in red so that it's easier to spot what flights require more attention. Similarly, slots can be colored in the aircraft view when you work with rotations. So it's much easier to make the change and evaluate your offers to see whether the offer is matching the schedule or not. Probably the most interesting thing recently, it's the optimization. We're all getting tired, and the amount of work and the changes is just hitting us. And we have different optimization capabilities within the system, including fleet assignment and fixed rotations, and rotation optimizer will allow you to evaluate the schedule for the enough maintenance time, for example, or fixed rotations, just if you're building the schedule for the next season and you have a certain number of aircraft, you can just put all your flights in and allow the model to see whether your schedule is fitting within the number of aircraft and build rotation on its own. And retime using slots, which is the interesting one. We'll talk about it in a second. Fleet assignment, FEM planning, so fleet assignment planning and connections for the different types of problems you want to solve. Again, depends on what information you feed in the system. It's very easy customizable. And fleet count reduction and retime. So providing the retime file to the system, you can actually move the flights within given time. So you say half an hour, 1 hour, and the certain ranges. And the system will still observe all the constraints, like the curfew, the MGT violations, and all the other things, and try to build the rotations and solve the problem for you to make it faster. Capacity adjustments, I already mentioned demand-driven cancellations and demand-driven fleet assignments. So depending on your bookings, which can be fed into the system from the other systems, you can make decisions on whether the flights should be operated on the less capacity or on the bigger capacity, depending on days, and rotations will be built in consideration of your constraints. And schedule design. So you can provide the number of frequencies for the next season and use your base to build the next season schedule faster and then continue optimizing it. Coming back to retime using slots, there are several opportunities. So we can retime flights, prohibit retimes, and also protect at-risk slots with these runs. So if you retime flights, one of the greatest example is when you are based in the level 2 airport, for example, where you have like a lot of flexibility on where you want to move, and most of your other slots are in level 3 airports, and you pretty much, if you get an offer or you get a slot, you don't have a choice. Well, you do, but it's coming to that waiting thing. What do you want to do? Retime the flight or retime the slot? And You just set up the rules or the level of priorities for retiming, and you hit the button. And taking your MGT, your curfews, block times, arrival, departure separation, so many rules, the system will try to build rotations within the given fleet. And with this, you will know pretty much straight away, like I think the longest run is about like a couple of minutes. You will know what slots you can take because they fit into your schedule and which ones you need to fight for with the coordinators to get them because otherwise they don't fit and you cannot retime the other flights. Prohibit retimes, it's the opposite. So if you fly into Heathrow or Amsterdam or Düsseldorf or any big European airport, you probably don't have much flexibility. So you want to set the rule to keep the slots you have and then try to move the schedule around to protect or prohibit retiming of the slots you have. And this might go with the increase of the block time or moving the flights around to keep this one and then build rotations around these flights to still fit the schedule within the fleet available or other constraints which you have in the schedule. And protected risk slots. So you set up the time margins for the morning, afternoon, evening, night banks, whatever it is for the different airports. And when you are making some changes in the schedule, you just rotate it around it and you keep your valuable slots unchanged. We also have certain functionality in our global SIM, which helps you to understand better the peak hours at the airports. So you can get a heat map. This is Casablanca as an example, probably not the greatest heat map, but quite visible. What you get here, like if you're planning your arrivals and departures, if you are going there, if you are not based over there, it's a very nice way to see where you will get a slot and where you will have troubles. So if we bring up like Paris or Dubai or, I don't know, like some of the busy airports with the distinct hubs, you would know that if you're trying to get your new flight slots in the hub time, you probably won't get any luck. But if you don't mind and you're flexible, using this heat map, it is very easy to choose the decent time for arrival and departure, as well as overview the opportunities at your own bank or your own airport. Alternatively, we have an opportunity to import an SIR file from the coordinator and evaluate it with the global SIM data, so with the other competitors, and see, we all know that sometimes we hold more slots than we need. And like if it's not only us, if there are many other airlines who are doing this, it will create the imbalance of what is published for sale and what is kind of in the airline pocket. And with this map, you can see the distribution by the hour and the date. You pick up the date of the week. And then for respective airport, you can see where there is more slots with the airlines, which might be released later when the published flight. So again, if you want to try to find an hour where you really need an improvement, you also can see which airline is that. So if you're coming to the venue like this, you're prepared, you can go and talk with that particular airline for exchange or for something. And like one of the interesting things we've been discussing, it's the monitoring the offers of the other airlines, what they want to do, and then see what your offers are, and then go and talk with them. Do you want to exchange the things and stuff? So it's more like a supportive information to give you more opportunities when you're trying to improve your schedule. That's pretty much it. So this is who we are, and we can be reached at booth 28. If you want to know more, please come and visit us. We can do the quick demo. and show you most of the things you've seen on the screen in the live run. Thank you.